I want to get you thinking differently about this time of year. There's only a couple days left to 2025. And if you're like me, you love debriefing the prior year as you get excited for the new one. But not all people are like that. So I wondered if you'd share your thoughts or your philosophy about these questions in the comment space. And the first one is, do you believe your life can really change dramatically from one year to the next, especially if you can't see how to do it? And do you think you can experience the same life circumstances differently? So let's say you have the same, circumstances of your life, but can you find peace and joy in the circumstances ahead of them changing? And the answer to both these questions is yes, definitely. But you need a change in perspective in order to do that. And one way to think about it is that if you're coming from a place of love instead of fear, then you are more likely to be able to accomplish this. And so a lot of people think the opposite of love is hate, and it's not. Hate is just a byproduct of fear. So, really, the opposite of love is fear, and we can't experience both. So, if we're not in love, and we could think about just radical acceptance of ourselves as love, then we're in fear. And fear produces thoughts and beliefs that are limiting. And even if we try to override them with our conscious mind and intentions, if those underlying invisible beliefs remain limiting, then that's what self-sabotage is. So I'm going to teach you how to think and feel differently about this time of year. And it's going to sound a little meandering because I'm going to share a story. It was about 10 years ago, and my life had fallen apart, and I had gotten divorced, and I was in a relationship, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen with my life, my vocation, what I was going to do for a living at some point. And it was Christmas time. It was this time of year, which is why the story is interesting because we just had Christmas. And I was standing in the kitchen and I was listening to Pandora, and Amy Grant's song came on, and it's called Mary's Song. And the song is about Mary when she is wondering why God has chosen her to carry his son. And you don't have to be religious to really connect deeply to this metaphor. Well, I'm listening to the song and I think, oh, sure, Amy Grant's voice is really pretty, but I'm really being pulled in by the lyrics and I just start crying. And I am taken aback and I search for the song on YouTube so I can listen to the lyrics more closely. And I cry again. And then I have this shift and I feel that I can relate to this sense of, what is happening in me, what is happening inside me, and that there is something growing, and it also causes some fear about why, like I don't know exactly what's going on. And so it was a really interesting thing because I came to understand and feel that I was being pulled somewhere that for once in my life I didn't know. And so I sort of had to trust that, yes, what was growing inside me was important, that it was an emerging sense of mission. Well, fast forward, a lot happened in those last 10 years, and I did find a new sense of purpose and founded a new company and published some books and have a podcast, etc. But the other night, on Christmas night, I got sick. I got a head cold. A lot of people have right now. And during the night, I had a strange experience. And I felt so achy and really down to my bones. And it hurt, like I was in pain. And I was mostly sleeping, but I guess you could say I was kind of lucid as well. And I chose to lean into the pain instead of resisting it because the resistance comes from a place of fear. And I've done this with migraine pain before. So as I just relaxed into the pain and felt one with the pain, it sort of dissipated. Now, as part of my half awake, half dream state, my mind went to a scene from a Netflix series that I just watched for the second time called Shamharan. And it takes place in Turkey and it revolves around this myth of the snake people. And two of the characters in the series go through a transformative process where their skin actually sheds. It's not gross, actually. When you think about a snake shedding its skin, it's not really gross. It's just that the skin grows dry and it peels off, and then there's this new coat. And and this is what I felt was happening to me during the night was this shedding of skin. Well, and then I learned that 2025 was the year of the snake. So the snake is a very powerful symbol of transformation, of death and rebirth. So circling back to New Year's, what's missing from how most people approach setting goals for the new year is that something has to die in order for you to become the person that can actually achieve those goals. Or let's say, become the type of person who can manage that kind of wealth and abundance or whatever it is. And so, this is why it is useful to look back first to see what are the behaviors or attitudes or the way that I look at things or limiting beliefs that I didn't know were there that I really need to release, like the skins of the snake, to shed in order for me to have a chance at achieving these goals that are really important to me. And so that also leads me to this difference between this 10 years ago at Christmas, there was this sense of trust that I had to have. And that's really what that song was about. Mary's song is Mary's trust in God, that she was being led someplace. And that is different than later on when you develop a sense of knowing. So a trust implies that you don't know for sure. And then as you grow in deeper relationship with yourself, which really is the bridge to the divine or the quantum realm, if you want to call it that, that there is a leveling up, a sense of knowing. So we set goals and intentions differently based on trusting that we might achieve them versus knowing that I am becoming the person I need to become in order to be in that space, to be that new person. So I just wanted to share that. And, you could also share, what does that mean to you? How do you see your life and what needs to die? What needs to be shed as you think forward to what you'd like to become, who you'd like to become in 2026? And, a really good question to reflect on is who to become the person who has what you want. What does that mean? Who are you becoming? And as opposed to what do you need to do? And so, who are you as a person? So, have a wonderful New Year's and leave your comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video if it's been helpful. And go to deborahlukovich.com for more free content. And take care. See you in 2026.